Do I look like a member of the Third Reich to you, Ms. Talib? Is that what I look like to you?
You're the one taking your voting card.
Is that what you think? Is that what you think? Is that what you think?
No, that's unethical.
I think it's radical and I think it's insane. And I'll respect everything that you say. But to say something like that to myself and a lot of my colleagues is way out of line. It's way out of line. It's way out of line.
Regular order, Mr.
Way out of line.
Regular order.
That's okay. But it's okay, right?
That is not how it
It's
goes.
okay, right?
You hold yourself accountable before you talk about...
Rashida, Talib, and Byron Donalds get into an absolute screaming match, holding nothing back, because Talib thinks that Donald Trump and his administration are acting like a Gestapo and destroying this country. You guys have got to check this out.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I think it's really important. I mean, we're talking about, 700,000 people that live here, and I feel like their voice gets completely just dismissed. And so, if I may, Mr. Chair, ask unanimous consent to enter the record. The Washington Post poll of D.C. residents found 8 out of 8 in 10 opposed Trump's taking over of their local police and sending in federal troops.
Without objection to ordered.
I think it's also really important to understand, like, the incredible kind of slanderous, like, defamation. I don't know what to call it. They're just burying Washington, D.C. You just heard them speak about our nation's capital in that way, in a way that I feel very much like that's not what I see. I see people walking around with their families, people enjoying time to see these beautiful, incredible, beautiful monuments and everything. And there's a pride here, too. And so I just want to bring the D.C. residents into this committee, because I feel like they are being made invisible. And this really ugly picture that is not reflective. And I'm from Detroit. I've seen it happen to my city. And it's despicable in a way that I feel like really goes up against our values. One of the things that I know in every abuse of power that, we let President Trump and the administration get away with in D.C., it will be replicated. It will be expanded across the country, and it is going to tear apart our communities. Mr. Jackson, I talked to you about a little bit about this, but I think it's important to understand that we do have a mental health crisis, that we have a housing crisis, affordability crisis. Can you police any of those away?
No.
You can't police away homelessness. And the way they talk about our homeless neighbors is so, no wonder there's violence increasing towards homeless neighbors. I see it already, the brutality of it. When we see housing costs go up, when we see, again, the lack or dismissiveness of the mental health crisis that we continue to grow. And it's not just this administration, and the previous administrations as well. No one has moved with the urgency that is needed. Just last week, the committee approved over a dozen bills regarding Washington, D.C. And, I'm just curious. Criminalize children. My colleague from Boston talked about this. It basically interfered with legislation already passed by the local government. Was anyone on this panel consulted? Any of you? Raise your hand if you were consulted on any of these bills. Yeah.
We were not.
One of the things that, AG, I've been listening to you. One of the bills actually eliminates your position completely. What effect would that have? Completely eliminating your position in regards to be able to do the job that you do to protecting all the families in Washington, D.C.?
We'll start with the fact that more than 70% of the residents of the District of Columbia overwhelmingly voted for having an independent elected attorney general.
That's right.
And that's a recognition of the fact that when an attorney general is directly accountable to the people, directly responsive to the people, we are much better at doing our job in terms of addressing housing affordability and conditions in slumlords, seniors and consumers who are being scammed, addressing the issues that are most important to D.C. residents, because I am accountable to them.
I read wage theft is an issue, workplace discrimination. There's a number of issues that need to be addressed, and they're not going to address that. They want to paint you all as this ugly, dark, all just out in the street. The way it's just unbelievable because they all live here. I don't see it. I don't see what they see. I don't understand why we're allowing that to happen, because I actually think it's going to hurt our communities. People are going to look at Washington, D.C. folks in a way that I think is going to be very painful, but also, you know, I don't know, Mr. Jackson, I heard the stories. People didn't leave their homes. They weren't leaving their homes. Businesses didn't see people coming into, I mean, that's what we want in our nation's capital. Stay in your house, don't move, don't go anywhere, stay fearful. It's unbelievable that my colleagues continue again to eject this narrative and this rhetoric in regards to it. But I think it's important, Mr. Chair, just like in DC, home rule was one out of Black freedom struggle in the fight for civil rights. We can't be passive right now. So nobody over there should take anything we say like so personally as if we're attacking them. No, we're attacking a process, not attacking people here. And I think it's really important. We need to stand up against this fascist takeover. That's not a bad word. It's a fact. And here in DC and across the country, it is so incredibly important, Mr. Chair, that this committee does not allow rhetoric that defames and or paints Washington, D.C. in a way that you all haven't really truly seen. You're just reading it. No, you're just reading it or something off of some.
Will the gentlelady yield to a question?
Yeah, I think it's really important.
Will the gentlelady
No, I
yield?
don't yield. I don't even have time. I can tell you.
Your time's expired.
It is expired, but
Tlaib,
Mr. Chair,
I've
but you all live
like
here,
Mr.
and
Tlaib.
you're not telling people the beautiful parts that you do see in our
Mr.
nation's
Tlaib.
capital. And no, it's just wrong how we're doing it.
Chairman, I think
Wrong.
it's insane that the
But you're
gentlelady
gonna
doesn't
look
have
at
an
the
argument, but she's going to
Washington, D.C. as a
refer
bunch
to
of
me and some of my
criminals.
colleagues.
Mr.
Mr. Chair,
Donald,
We were from the
you know
Third
this.
Reich. This is
You're
insane.
gonna look at
It's
14,
insane.
15-year-olds as
It's
a bunch of
insane.
criminals?
It's insane.
Oh,
Do I look like a member of the Third Reich to you, Ms.
Please,
Talib?
please,
Is that what I look like
please.
to you?
You're the one taking your voting
Is that what
card,
you think?
giving it
Is that
to
what you
somebody,
think?
giving
Is that
your
what you
card.
think?
No, that's unethical.
I think it's radical
You
and I think
should-
it's
no, you
insane.
should
And I'll
be held
respect everything that you say.
accountable. Before you
But to
open your
say
mouth,
something like
you
that
should be
to
held
myself and a lot of my
accountable.
colleagues is way out of line.
I'm not the
It's
one
way out of
giving my
line.
voting
It's
card
way out of
to
line.
someone
Regular
to
order,
go
Mr.
vote.
Way
So
out of
you
line.
go in a vote.
Regular order.
That's okay. But it's okay,
No,
right?
That is not how it
It's
goes.
okay, right?
You hold yourself accountable before you talk about
Hold
Washington,
myself
D.C.
accountable.
Mr. Tlaib.
Washington,
Hold
D.C.
your
out
own
of your
self
mouth.
accountable. How
Keep
about
it out of
that?
your mouth.
Hold your own
I'm
self
trying,
accountable.
Mr.
How about that?
Free DC and make sure you
All right.
vote with your own voting card. Don't be giving it to somebody
Ms.
else.
Talib. All right, time. Chair recognizes Ms. Boebert from Colorado. Wait a minute, Ms. Boebert.
I'll tell you what, she did bring up some good points. Crime was running rampant in this country, so much homeless people across the nation, and just a mental health crisis going on across the nation. But guess what? Those are the exact issues that Donald Trump is trying to tackle. He's trying to fix. He wants to clean up our streets so that we don't have to deal with this homelessness issue, and he wants to take care of our veterans, anyone who served in the Army. He has been the biggest advocate for the VA than any other president in United States history. You want to claim that Donald Trump is such a bad guy because he wants clean streets, he wants to go into DC, he wants to go into Baltimore, he wants to go into Detroit and clean it up? Why is that an issue? The cities that Donald Trump wants to go into are not doing their own constituents right because people are scared to go out at night. People are scared to go to the park with their kids because crime is running rampant and drugs are just prevailing in this country. We cannot let this happen. We can't let it fall apart due to politicians' bad policies, which is what was happening under Joe Biden. You think his policies were actually trying to fix these issues? No, it was only the rich get richer, politicians day trading, Nancy Pelosi worth hundreds of millions of dollars, Ilhan Omar, Eric Swalwell. All these people were living the high life. Meanwhile, everyday hardworking Americans are tirelessly putting in the hours, but their dollar is worth less and less each passing day because of the rampant inflation due to these horrendous policies. I'm sick of this hateful rhetoric that the left is spewing because guess what? They are wholly responsible for all the political violence that is taking place up in this country. I mean, just think about the last couple shootings that we've had. The lone crazy madman leftist who wanted to shoot up the ICE facility because ICE is destroying this country and we're getting rid of the illegal immigrants and upholding the law. Yeah, that's such a bad thing. And then the guy who went after Charlie Kirk, he attacked him because he spent all day on his computer in these Reddit groups listening to other people say that Donald Trump and the Trump administration are evil people. They're the Gestapo. We need to stop them. I mean, did you see the chat logs? He was saying, yeah, I finally did it, guys. I took Charlie Kirk out. hooray, like they thought this was a good thing. No, you destroyed somebody's life because you were brainwashed and propagated to do so. You don't have the ability to differentiate lies and the truth, and that is exactly what's wrong in this country. We need to eliminate the hateful rhetoric, and it starts by all of us collectively just stop listening to crazy lunatics like this woman right here. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down below. How do you think Bryon Donalds handled this? You think he was too harsh or it was completely justified? Let me know. I'd love to know your thoughts. And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.